There are many different ways you could go about creating a cell phone case in Autodesk Inventor. This tutorial is going to show you how to use simple extrude features along with some other tools to be able to create a tissue box. You can actually apply all the steps in this video and concepts to creating a cell phone case. So we're going to begin by opening up a standard millimeter part. Everything that we do is in millimeters, so it'll just make your life easier to start here. We're going to create a 2D sketch on the XY plane, and we're just going to create a simple sketch of the bottom of the tissue box. It is important to dimension as you go. I know that this will be 269 millimeters because I've already measured, and I may need to zoom out to be able to see it because it'll probably change the way that it looks by dimensioning it. And I know that this side is going to be 132 millimeters. If you're creating a cell phone case, this might also be a good time to fill in edges or do things like that. But I've created the outside of the box, and now I want to create the interior wall. So I'm going to do that really simply just by using the offset tool, selecting what I've done and just shrinking it up a little bit. Now I want to make sure that the thickness here is exactly what I want it to be. On a tissue box, it's going to be very, very thin. On a cell phone case, it might be thicker. So I'm going to grab both of these lines, and I'm going to dimension this to only 1 millimeter. It's going to make it very thin for me. For you, for a cell phone case, it may be a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to finish the sketch, and I'm going to extrude by not the shape in the middle, but that outside wall that I've created, so this. And I need it to be 66 millimeters tall because that's what I've measured. And you can see now that I've got the outside edges of my tissue box. For a cell phone case, it may be different. I could even go through here and fill at these edges now to make it really nice looking. For a tissue box, I don't need to do that. So what I need to do now is create the bottom part of my box. So I'm going to create another 2D sketch, and I want to actually select along the outside of that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. I'm going to create another 2D sketch right on the edge of here. I'm going to turn this around until I get the box that I need. So I'm going to create another rectangle on top here. And this gives me nice tools that match up. If you were doing a filleted edge, it might be a little bit more difficult. I go over something later in the video that could be really helpful for you for that. So I'll finish the sketch, and I will extrude this by just 1 millimeter, not 66. So now I've created the bottom of my box. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the top, because if I turn the tissues over, I don't want it to fall out. Now this next step would be different for a cell phone case, but you have to think about what you would need to create on top so that way your cell phone doesn't actually fall out of the case. So I'm going to create another 2D sketch, but I want to do it along the plane here. And I will go ahead. I already created the basic shape that I need, so I'm actually going to, and this is what I was talking about with the filleted edge you might want to do. If I click on that little plus button, I can actually copy the sketch from this one and paste it onto this sketch. I will probably need to move the shape, but you can see it copied the exact dimension of what I created before, so I wouldn't have to recreate it. So all I need to do now is move this shape. I know I have all the edges when they're all actually blue. And then I can move it. I can even zoom in a little bit more to make sure I'm really lining it up on that side. And so now I have created the top of it. Now this zip would be different for a cell phone case, but for the tissue box, I would actually need to create an ellipse or an oval in the middle. It's where the tissues could come out. So you would think about what you would need to do differently for your cell phone case. So now I've created the top of the box, and I'm going to go ahead and extrude by not a whole lot, only a millimeter here, but now I've got a box that has a hollow inside that if I turned upside down, things wouldn't fall out. And that would be how you would create a tissue box.